Hi everyone, we are with Rafael Grossmann, TEDx speaker, surgeon and glass explorer for a glass story interview. Hello Rafael, may we start with a brief introduction?
Hi there, how are you? I'm glad to be here with you, and hopefully I can share some of my vision with you guys and the rest of the spectators, I guess. I'm Rafael Grossmann. I'm a Venezuelan surgeon who lives in Maine and work in Maine, and for a few years I've been interested in the link between innovation and technology as well as healthcare. And I'm a general surgeon. I do general surgery and trauma surgery, as well as laparoscopic surgery and robotic surgery. And I've been really interested in also the potential for telemedicine, which is a remote presence medicine to improve the way we provide healthcare by enhancing the reach of the providers, reach of the surgeons. In Maine, telemedicine is something that we're really fond of. We have a very strong telemedicine program. We connect our hospitals with 15 sites, all on the two-thirds north of the state of Maine, which is it's a very large area. It's an area larger than the states of Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Vermont together. And about 3 years ago, we started using mobile devices, smartphones, to perform a remote presence, synchronous live audio video acute consults for patients who were involved in trauma. With any of these remote hospitals, and that has been very slow start, but with some change of culture, we've been really doing this quite a bit. And I did a TEDx talk that it's called iPod Teletrauma, and that's something that was really interesting to show people how we can do that with a mobile device. But more recently, I attended Future Med at Singularity University in California at Silicon Valley, and I got exposed to Google Glass. And Google Glass was one of those wow moments where you can see a technology, a device that really could revolutionize the way we provide care. I applied to the Glass Explorers program, and I got in. A day after I got my Google Glasses, actually, I went to Paris, France, to Doctors 2.0 conference and gave a medical conference with my glass on. It was probably the first conference ever with the Google Glass, with the speaker wearing Google Glass. And then about a week later, I performed the first operation wearing Google Glass, and I tweeted about that, and Forbes put that on the air, and it's been really interesting after that how people get interested in the way glass can really revolutionize healthcare. There are many developers out there trying to do applications for healthcare. There are a few companies from Augmetics to Pristine to Droiders to people performing really very incredible feats. The EverMed people, along with a good friend of mine, a cardiologist, Christian Assad, created an app. They're working on an app called CPR Glass, which allows you to perform CPR or help you perform CPR on a patient as needed, and Glass can guide you through that. And some people have been using glass in different ways. There was an orthopedic surgeon in Spain who did the first orthopedic operation, the first bone operation, recorded with glass and streamed to a whole bunch of people. That was really interesting. That happened the day after we did our operation, but he did the first orthopedic surgery operation. And there's a lot of interest out there, including people like you, who is really eager to spread the news to the world.
Okay, it's really great. I think that's what we research when we talk about glass. That's a real experience. That's a real thing, a useful thing we can do with glass. So let's try to focus on the surgery you did. Um,
Did it really help when you were in the operation place? I don't really know. Did it really help, or did you just record the scene? Did you the there was an app, there was something to help you, or just the glass on your nose?
No, well, the glass, I wanted to prove the point that glass, the device, can really enhance the way surgeons connect with the digital world and the way we connect to other people if necessary. So obviously the details of the operation I don't want to share because I want to
Yeah,
keep patients' privacy. But I did a hangout to myself on a different account. So in a remote fashion, I was streaming the certain parts of the operation. Obviously, I obtained consent from the patient and the family to do this, but it was to prove the point that glass can really show the vision of the surgeon's eyes vision to anyone anywhere. So imagine the potential of this technology to do a mentoring, to teach surgical procedure to someone away. Imagine if a surgeon could be, an expert surgeon could be away from a surgeon with not so much experience, and if that surgeon is wearing glass, or even if they're not wearing glass, that surgeon could record, could stream the view of the operation to a surgeon who has expertise, and that surgeon wearing glass can guide that less
yeah,
expert surgeon. Or imagine if you can stream a live operation or a live procedure to a group of medical students. A glass has really the potential to revolutionize the way we teach medicine, because we can show the students exactly what we are seeing. In my blog, that hopefully you can share the link for my blog, where I posted about the first surgery ever with the glass. A week later, I posted a few videos teaching medicine, teaching medical
yeah.
procedures.
I saw that. Yeah,
It was really interesting to see how the paramedic, or actually the nurse, could get help and be taught or be mentored with a glass in a remote fashion. We also connected that provider, that nurse, to someone who was actually in the state of Texas at the time, who's also a friend, was wearing glass. He was a cardiologist, Christian Assad, the CPR glass guy. He talked to that nurse about how to deal with this arrhythmia, with this tachycardia that the mannequin had. And then I was able to teach a procedure, show a number of students in the other room. I was showing them through glass my exact view of the procedure, and they were asking questions, and they were learning medicine almost as if they were doing the procedure because of the glass. So it has great potential.
yeah. That's what you posted on your blog, your personal blog. I saw that. I saw using glass to teach medicine. I really appreciated that. It was really great. So let's talk about a more general glass experience. Um, since you have glass, did it really fulfill your dreams you had about it before having it?
I think it did. This is obviously a first. It's a first. It's not a prototype. It's a fully developed device, but it's the first
Yeah.
edition, and it's very light, and it has the most of the, obviously, the hardware is right here. It's
Yeah.
really comfortable to use. It doesn't block my vision, and it can only. I mean, it shows me a computer screen, basically right in front of my right eye, with my side looking up a little bit, and I can search things. I can record pictures or video. I can connect to anyone remotely. It talks to me, and it doesn't talk, in the ear, but through the bone, and you can hear very well
Yeah.
what Glass is
Yeah.
saying, and that's what I was expecting. Obviously, one thing that is not optimal is the battery. The battery is very limited. Depends on how much you use it, obviously, but within an hour to 2 hours, if you're using it continuously, you'll have to recharge it. There is ways to
Oh.
connect a portable battery to it to extend the life of the power. That's something that probably will be fixed in the future. And more there are new apps to be used with glass. You can do Twitter, you can do Evernote, you can read the New York Times, you can do CNN, you can do a Hangout. So there more and more things that are being created, and obviously a lot of companies, like I said, are trying to develop apps that will be, the next winner,
Yeah,
for something like this.
it's
Uh,
just the beginning.
yeah, I mentioned a few of them. Pristine is one of those companies. Pristine, CPR Glass, Augmetics. There are developers like Droiders, Droiders, in Spain, who is working really hard trying to enhance the way glass connects and glass streams, not just the regular view, but also digital images from an endoscope, from a laparoscope. That is very powerful.
Yeah, we we saw many problems with explorers like you who said that when you're wearing glass, people in the street or everything um, are looking at you strangely. Um, uh, como, I don't really
Yeah.
know. I don't have my words.
I know what
um,
you're saying. I know what you're
they,
saying, and
ouais,
people. I don't wear glass out on the street much yet. I use it mainly to explore my, the possibilities within my field of expertise, which is medicine. I don't use it clinically yet because there are issues with glass and privacy, and as you
yeah,
know, in the United States, the privacy regulations, the law is very strict. So I haven't used it in a real patient encounter yet. But that will happen in the future once the applications that you have for glass are able to encrypt the interaction. But when people, it's really something that is not that obvious, and there are studies out there, especially Augmetics, Augmedix. Augmetics has done
yeah,
some polling of people and patients to see how much do they really notice glass when a provider has them on, and they really don't notice it much. It looks like maybe like a regular a device that a physician could be using while examining you.
yeah,
Uh, I think that more and more, especially like if you are in New York, if you are out west in California, there are areas where you would see people wearing glass, especially around the Google facilities, in New York, in San Francisco. You'll see some of the Google employees using glass, and I know that Sergey Brin, one of the creators of glass, I've heard that he uses glass all the time in the metro and whatnot. And I think it's something that very soon people will get used to it. And people talk about glass being disruptive in the way people communicate or people interact. I think it's completely the opposite. I think glass, it is better, for me,
yeah,
instead of being doing this, I can be doing this. And
yeah,
even with patients, when you are in the patient's office, and that's really one of my strong points, I think, for glass. I think that if you are examining a patient, if you are face to face with the patient, and rather than turning away and checking the computer, for the digital records,
you
or
can see
checking
it.
a screen, for the digital records. You can face the patient face to face, and only by looking up slightly, you can have the patient's record on the screen, and order, give laboratory workup orders, or order an X-ray, or access images, or access results, or any information in the medical record eventually that you could potentially, get through glass. I think the patient provider, the doctor patient relationship will be strengthened because you'll be able to be face to face without having to give it back to the patient, trying to look up information. I think that's one of the very strong points of glass.
Yeah, I didn't think of glass like this way, in this way, but it is really good, really
Yeah.
great. It's well, yeah. In fact, I was I was mainly focused on social network, in the internet, etc. But I didn't really realize how this could affect our real lives, in fact. And I see you prove the glass is not a mess for our social lives. This is
I
good.
don't think
This is
so.
good.
I don't think so. You know, the
Um,
way I see glass, I really see glass as the natural evolution of the interface, the computing interface between humans and the digital world. I really think that eventually something like this, maybe smaller, obviously it's going to get smaller, but I think that that will be the way we interact with the digital world. So you see, in the past, we used to have big computers, and then
Yeah.
we went to little computers, and then
Ouais.
we went to little devices, and now we come to glass. I think
Yeah.
that that's the
yeah.
natural evolution.
And what's the next step? Sergey
Yeah,
Brin said we had a computer in our brains. For our brains, it would
yeah.
be
Maybe
awful.
someday. Yeah, I think that someday we'll get to something like that. There are already contact lenses that have the ability to do computing and show you a
Yeah.
screen right in front of the cornea. So the imagination is the limit. We just have to be creative enough, and who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a little question. What was the reaction of other we were when you wore a glass, especially at work? And
Yeah, well, I think at work, people, curiosity is the best. I think that people really, when they see you with glass, they are really curious, and they ask you what that is, and then you let them use the glass, and once they put him on, and they turn him on, and they can see the screen, they go, they can't believe that. Everyone who uses glass and they can look at the screen and suddenly be able to Google search something or take a picture with voice, the reaction is just they can't believe it.
oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Um, More general question about glass. What impact will have glass on your society? You think?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that, please?
What impact will have glass on our society?
Well, I think it obviously is hard to predict, but I really think I see, like I said before, I see glass as the next interface, the next computer. People, instead of looking at their phones, they're going to be, looking at glass eventually. It's hard to say whether glass is going to be something that's going to be used like we use the cell phones. I do think that eventually something like glass will replace a mobile device, a mobile phone eventually. I think that it'll be a while for that, and I think that right now glass might have a better use in certain professions. For professionals to do to enhance the work they do and to facilitate it and make it better, like in healthcare, like in art, like in many other areas. I think glass has a potential to revolutionize those areas. I think in society it's hard to say. I think that eventually, like every technology, once you have new, radically different technology, you'll have some
Yeah.
counterparts, some people that
Yeah.
doesn't like it. But I think eventually, if the technology is good enough and it makes our lives easier and it makes us connect better with each other, I think that the technology will just flow through and it will be accepted. So I think that glass will have a positive impact in the way we connect.
And obviously, glass is a bit scary in our current society because of a lack of privacy. What is your opinion about that?
No, I really don't think the glass at all is something dangerous or scary in regards to privacy. I think that glass it's a device that it's like a cell phone on your eye. So if you're not recording, you're not recording. If you are, I think that you have the potential to take a picture and record a video with your cell phone at all times without people even knowing about it. So I think that the privacy issue, it depends on the user. I think that there will be instances where the user of glass will, perform actions that will violate someone's privacy, like, you can do it with a cell phone,
Yeah.
like you can do it with cameras. So I think that as long as you are mindful of privacy, I don't think glass is any different than any other device out there that has the ability to record pictures and video and stream them live. I think that glass it will make it easier for people to do so, but again, it's back to the ethical principles of that user.
Yeah. And what about features like facial recognition? I don't
Re-
really know.
yeah,
Yeah,
facial recognition. Well, I think
English.
glass eventually will probably have the capability to do so, and you can do now that with certain devices. And I think that it's still maybe in its infancy. I wouldn't know. Maybe some police type people will have better idea of what's out there in regards to facial recognition. But I think that it'd be great to have facial recognition with a device like glass, especially in healthcare. Imagine where you could walk to a patient's room and suddenly you can recognize who the patient is
Yeah,
and give you all the medical information of that patient. Imagine in an emergency situation being able to do that. Again, it has a lot of positives and it might have some negatives for
yeah.
some people, but it depends on the user, depends on the situation where you use it. But I hope that someday we'll have facial recognition, so I could immediately know what your name is without having to ask you. But only if you allow me to.
Yeah. A global API is like a global or human API. Uh, yes.
Yes, yes.
So, where are we? Well, before the last question, we would like to answer to question you on what would you advise for to glass lovers like us, like both of us, who want to have glass but can't yet, and what would your advice be?
Well, Google planned a very strict release of glass to some public, based on the application, based on the essay that you wrote with your vision on glass and its use. Google released a number of glass units, and unfortunately, that process is closed. So, as far as I know, and as far as I heard, they're not going to be opening anytime soon. But glass is going to be available within a few months, is what they say. And what I would advise in the meantime is for you people to spread the word about glass, spread the ideas out there that glass explorers like I and other people have about glass, and to try to keep up with the news and to maybe invent some ways to use it in a better way to make the world a better place. I think
Yeah.
that once the glass comes out, you can definitely start using it in a better way right away. I think that also there are a lot of developers and software developers trying to contact glass explorers like me and others to create applications and platforms that will work with glass to make things better, to make, in my case, to make healthcare better. I think that that's really important, that people has the vision and the will, the power to decide, okay, let's work on this and let's invest on this. I know there are a lot of developers with great ideas. There are a lot of explorers with great ideas, but you always need the investors to pitch in. So I think that promoting the message like you guys are doing to a wider audience is really the way to go. I'm just a surgeon. I had these great ideas, I think, in regards to the use of technology innovation in healthcare, but I really can't build anything. I do not program, so I really rely on developers. I rely on administrators on the health systems to have the vision to see glass as a tool that will improve the way we do medicine.
Yeah. Um, we have a last question. So, in one word, what does Google Glass mean for you?
Well, that's a great question. In one word,
or one expression? I don't know.
Innovation, awesome innovation.
Okay.
Two words.
Thanks a lot, Rafael Grossmann, for your patience and your kindness. See you soon for other GlassStories interviews. And
Merci beaucoup.
merci beaucoup.
No, thank you very much, the two of you. I applaud your initiative. Being young and trying to push the boundaries of social media. I think that this is the way to spread the message. And I think that Twitter, LinkedIn, all those platforms, YouTube, that's a way to spread the good word. I appreciate you contacting me. Follow me on Twitter, and you can see some of my. It's all healthcare related, healthcare innovation technology. Follow me on Twitter at ZGJR, and you'll get some of my links and some of my fellow explorers' links. There are people out there doing great stuff with glass. Like I mentioned before, droiders and augmetics and Pristine and CPR glass and Lucien Engelen in Europe, and I think that the future is going to be awesome.
Yeah, I hope so.
Hi again, guys. Hope you enjoyed watching the video. If you did, be sure to let us a comment. And don't forget you can watch the next Explorers interview clicking right here, or the previous clicking right there. Also, don't forget to check out the website GlassStories.com for more exciting stuff about what Google Glass is. Bye! Bye bye.